Okay, thank you everyone for joining this call. I'm very happy and grateful to be on this call with every one of you. So once again, very welcome. I just want to confirm once again that you can hear me and see my screen perfectly because I've had issues with Airtel network and I pray they don't fuck up and play with my emotions this afternoon. So okay, thank you. Um, okay, so before we start the session, so I would like to say thank you again because I'm just consistent about saying thank you because for every one of you to have decided to join this call to learn one or two things about Android development. This is the basics for Android development. We'll be checking out some basic stuff that will get you started developing for Android. So we started a study group on Monday, yeah, which is 16th of November. So we are treating five skills. Yeah, we are taking people on how to become better at those five skills. So Android happens to be one of those skills, and this is the first event we'll be hosting for the study group. So it's a maiden event. So it will get you started developing for Android. So while the study group registration is closed, we will be giving people chances to register. So after this call, anyone that is interested in joining the study group, we will open registration for 3 more days. Okay. After this call, I'll share the link with everyone, and you'll be able to register if you're interested in joining the study group. But I would like to say welcome again to everyone. So I would like to divide this session into three parts. So basically, the session will last for let's say 45 minutes, and we would like to debunk some myth about Android, and we will be starting out with Kotlin, using Kotlin to develop our first mobile app. So I welcome you, Kennedy, to the call. Thank you very much for joining. So so moving on, this session will be recorded. Yeah. So basically, for those that won't be able to join this call for because of one or more reasons, so we would share the recording on our YouTube channel. So anyone that wants to review or check out the video can easily go to YouTube and check it out. So let's get started. The first part of this session will be based on introducing you to Kotlin. So Kotlin is a programming language used for Android development. Most of us know that, and I'll be giving a brief overview of what Kotlin is and how Kotlin has grown to become what it has become. So later on we'll be checking out some Kotlin syntax, and we'll be checking out how to use Kotlin in basic programming. And later on, in the third part, we'll be going to Android Studio. That is the environment for building Android apps, native Android apps, basically. So we'll be checking out how to use Kotlin to build a dice roller app. Okay, so for you all that like to play Ludo, we'll develop an app that will, like, on the press of a button, you'll be able to roll a dice. So let's get straight into it. So introduction to Kotlin. So basically, what is Kotlin? Kotlin is a general purpose programming language, and it is object oriented. Yeah, it is object oriented, and it's also a functional programming language. So what I mean by object oriented programming is that most of you will know it, and it's just about modeling real life objects with in programming. Okay, so that's what object oriented programming is basically. So the FP there is functional programming, which means you can make use of lambdas for those of you that know how to use lambdas, and it's basically using functions extensively in your programs to do important and relative stuff. So it is statically typed. Yeah, Kotlin is a statically typed language. It is not dynamically typed like Python. Basically, what I mean by that is that when you see a statically typed language, um, you have to declare the kind of data type you want to save in a variable before you make use of the variable. So at compile time, the compiler knows what kind of data type a variable is. So that's what a statically typed language is all about. It's like Java, kind of, and it's open source. Yeah, it's open source. You can easily go to GitHub, search for Kotlin, and you'll be able to find the repository for Kotlin. And it also has a license, Apache license 2.0. Yeah, and basically it was developed by JetBrains, yeah, for the community and for everyone to make use of. So the philosophy behind Kotlin is that Kotlin is very very concise. Yeah, it is concise. It is the concise version of Java. For you those of you that have used Java before, Kotlin is like leveraging the bad parts of Java, correcting the bad parts of Java. So that's what that's how concise Kotlin is. It is safe. Yeah, Kotlin helps us to get rid of the null pointer exception that most of us face when we program, and it uses the concept of you not being able to create even null variables. Okay, so it won't allow you to create null variables such that you now make use of them, and your apps will crash. So it saves us from null pointer exceptions. It is also interoperable. Yeah, it is interoperable with Java. That's why it's easy for Google to easily start using Kotlin. So because you can call a Java, you can use a Java library in Kotlin. You can also use a Kotlin library in Java. So it is tool friendly. It is interoperable, and the design principles of Java of Kotlin, basically it is a deliberate project. JetBrains didn't create Kotlin for as a research. Okay, so they created it based on the fact that Java had some problems. They felt the ambiguity in Java, so they had to create something that will clear the problems they had. So it was they learned from Java, Scala, C Sharp, Groovy, Python, and some other languages like that to create what we can see and know as Kotlin. So it is elegant. Yeah, it is a very interesting programming language. And moving on, we can check out the timeline for Kotlin. Yeah, how Kotlin started, what has occurred since Kotlin was created, and we can see the Kotlin started in 2010. Yeah, they had the problem since about decades away. They had to create a new programming language in 2010, and you can see from on the right hand side, you can see how the logos were being modified. So it started in 2010, and fast forward to 2016, Kotlin 1.0 was released. Yeah, it took them 6 years before they released Kotlin 1.0. So fast forward to 2017, Google declared in Google I/O 2017 that Kotlin is now the official programming language for developing Android apps. So then fast forward to 2018, they released Kotlin 1.3. They added more functionalities and and all. So right now in 2020, we now have Kotlin 1.4, and they've added so many functionalities that I would want every one of us to try out. So the current adoption rate of Kotlin right now. So we can see from the with the blue line that represents GitHub. So the number of projects that are used, the number of projects that contain Kotlin code, they are so many, and this is on a monthly basis. And the red line represents the Stack Overflow questions that are asked, that has to do with Kotlin, and the yellow line represents the number of plugins, the plugin usages, Kotlin plugin usages that have been used over some years ago. So we can see from January 2017, there's a very increasing rate in the adoption of Kotlin. So you can see that the community is increasing. So if you have any problems using Kotlin, you can easily get solutions due to its large community. So you can build applications for Kotlin for so many things. That's one thing I love about Kotlin. Yeah, you can build applications for JVM. Yeah, it runs on JVM like Java. So you can build applications that run on the JVM. You can build applications particularly to run on Android. you, Kotlin is easily transpilable to JavaScript. Yeah, you can easily like convert Kotlin code to JavaScript. So if you learn Kotlin, you can easily develop web apps for the browser. So you can easily build apps that work on different platforms, okay, using Kotlin native. All you have to do is just to write Kotlin code and convert them to zeros and ones. So depending on the kind of platform you want to run the Kotlin code, you can move the zeros and ones to that machine and run your code on the machine. So we have Kotlin Common. Yeah, it's basically how you can use Kotlin for multi-platform development. So you can reuse one Kotlin code base on different platforms. So expect an actual declarations. These are keywords that are used when you create multi-platform projects. So it's multi-platform and it makes coding easier for you. So if you dive into Kotlin, if you've had a kind of experience using Java or some other programming languages, you would see that Kotlin is an interesting pick for you to start with. So these are some useful links you can use to get familiar with Kotlin. However, we'll be checking out some ways with which we can get familiar with Kotlin. So you can go to kotlinlang.org. You would find the documentation for Kotlin there. You don't have to go there now, but just for you to know, it's the kotlinlang.org is the official website for Kotlin, and it contains the documentation. So try.kotlinlang.org. That is it contains a code editor where you can run Kotlin code on your browser. So and Kotlin Cones is also a website where you can easily get Kotlin code samples. When you run this code, they help you to increase your knowledge of the Kotlin syntax. So there's also a Slack channel where you can get familiar with Kotlin, where you meet so many interesting people that are also interested in Kotlin. So these people, you can ask questions from them and engage with them and do stuff. So basically, this is a little bit of what of what Kotlin is all about. So there's so many other things to know about Kotlin, and we'll be checking out some other things about Kotlin by checking out its syntax. So for now, this is the little you can know for now on this call about Kotlin. So this will be the end of the first part of this session. Like I said, the session is divided into three parts. So for the second part, we'll be checking out try.kotlinlang.org, where we'll be checking out some Kotlin syntax and we'll be getting familiar with the language. So permit me to stop presenting and share my screen. To I would share my screen and okay. So can everyone see my screen? Should be able to see it now. Um, yeah, I'm awaiting your responses. I want to know if you can see my screen then. We would get on with it. Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you very much, Victor. So this is Kotlin playground. You can easily run any Kotlin code on this playground, and you'll be surprised, and you'll be able to run Kotlin code without having to install the IDE. So this is Kotlin playground. As you can see, it's kind of beautiful. Yeah. So I have some code here that I have written for us to get familiar with Kotlin syntax. We'll be running this code one after the other, checking out what they print, and we'll see how we can get familiar with Kotlin syntax. So this is a function. This is a function. When you want to declare a function in Kotlin, this is a way for you to declare a function. If you're familiar, I don't know if you're familiar with JavaScript. I don't know, or that I'm not sure. But this is also a way for you to specify that you want to declare a function. But for Python, you can see something like def. But this one in Kotlin, you have fun. So this main function is the entry point for every Kotlin program. So if you have a Kotlin program, you will always have a main function where the Kotlin compiler checks to see if your code is correct and start execution from there. So we can see on this line, this is hello world. So this is a way for you to print something to the console. So when you want to print something hello world to the console, we can easily run this and check out what this guy prints to the screen. So you can see on the first line you can see hello world with 3 exclamation marks, and then you can see hello Kotlin. So this hello Kotlin was printed in this function, this particular function. So I wrote this function just to print hello Kotlin. Let me swipe. Let me go down to where the function is. So this is where the function is. So basically this is everything about the function. So if you want to declare a function, you just have to use the font keyword, print the name of your function, parentheses, and print. You do whatever you want to do. So there are a way for us to just pack calculations in them. That are main functions. There are a way for us to pack calculations in them and execute things. So this function only prints hello Kotlin, and that's just what the function does. I will have to comment this out and check out some other syntax. And let me uncomment this place. And I'd have to say that the reason why I put for some of us that don't know, if you want to comment code in Kotlin, you have to use double forward slashes. So this is the way the Kotlin compiler won't run this part. So if I decide to run this code and see what it does, I won't see the result of this function because I've commented it out. The compiler will neglect it. So now I have uncommented these guys, and let's check out what they do. So this is a way for you to declare a variable. Okay, basically a variable is a way for you to store things in your computer memory. You can declare variables using 2 keywords in Kotlin. You can declare them using the var keyword or the val keyword. So when you declare variables using the var keyword, you're telling the compiler that, okay, compiler, I can change the value stored in this variable later. But when you use a val, you are telling the compiler that, okay, hello compiler, I can only assign ones to this variable. So basically this fish variable, we can change it later in the program, but this val variable, we can only change it once. So Kotlin is a statically typed language, like I said, but easily Kotlin can depict or get the kind of data type you want to set in a variable. So Kotlin compiler can easily get what we are trying to save in the fish variable, that this is an integer. Okay, so this on this line we are basically telling the compiler that specifically we want to store an integer in this variable temperature. So if you want to specify the kind of variable, the kind of data type you want to save in the variable, all you have to do is just to add colon and the variable, the data type of the variable, and equals to, then save your variable in it. So this print line, a couple of print line statements. These are ways by which we can perform operations on the fish variable. Okay, so this statement basically says, okay, print fish times 6. So basically it will take the value inside the fish variable and multiply it by 6. Then we see the output. This one just divides the value in fish by 10, and this one divides the value of it adds 3 to the value of fish, and this one minus 3 from the value of fish. So let's check what this guy prints. And I'm sorry, I think I declared this value somewhere else. Yeah. So when I comment that guy, the compiler will neglect that line. So basically we can see that we can see hello world, and when we multiply 5 by 6, we can see 30. When we divide an integer, in most programming languages, when you divide an integer by a number greater than it, okay, so basically 5 divided by 10 should give us 0.5. But since we are dividing an integer, Kotlin will only take the whole number, which is 0. It will neglect the decimal part, so we can only see 0 here. So 5 plus 3 will be 8, and 5 minus 3 will be 2. Okay, so that's basically what this line does. So we've seen ways by which we can declare variables and run some things on them. There are some ways we can convert variables. So basically we are seeing a 1 here. So if you want to convert 1 to a long, so basically a long is a longer version of int. So long can take values that are more than int. So in any programming language, you would see that an integer takes values from one range to the other. A long is a bigger version of int, so it takes values that are on a broader range than int. So that's basically what this guy does. So basically, when we run this guy, we would only see one. This one, this second line it converts this one to a string. So that we only see one. We won't be able to identify. But basically, these two, this one is a long, and this one is a string. So these are some of the ways we can get familiar with Kotlin syntax, and this is a way for us to format numbers. So this is a 1 million. So normally when we want to write figures, we put comma between the zeros, so for us to be able to read them better. So instead of commas, we can easily put underscores there to be able to, for us to be able to get what they are saying. So let's check out how we can use the null variables in Kotlin. So like I said, Kotlin saves us from null pointer exceptions. So if I run these 2 lines of code, let me see what the compiler would do. So you can see that we cannot a null cannot be a value of a non-null type int. So we can see that by declaring this value and saving a null value in it, we cannot do this in Kotlin. So you can't declare a variable and give it a null value. It's not possible. That's one of the ways Kotlin helps us to prevent null pointer exceptions. So if you tell Kotlin that, okay, Kotlin, I want to save a null value in this variable, you can do that by adding a question mark after the data type. So this is a way of telling Kotlin that, okay, Kotlin, I want to be able to save a null value in marbles. So it will allow us. There's so many ways you can do things in Kotlin. Kotlin gives you flexibility. It gives you so there's so many ways you can just do things in Kotlin. So let's take out strings. How to make use of strings. So I've written this function. This function only it only it does some string manipulation. So let me call that function in the main function to see what the function does. So let me see what the function does. Yeah, I spelled the name wrongly. Okay, so I can see the result. Okay, let me go into the function and just explain some of the things that the function is doing. So we can see hello world. Yeah, we didn't comment that guy out. So starting from this print statement, let me check out what it's doing. So we can see hello fish on the next line. This is basically a way for us to concatenate strings. Okay, we are concatenating hello plus fish plus exclamation mark. So this will join these 3 strings together and print out for us. So on the next line, we can see I have 5 fish. Okay, so this string is printing I have 5 fish. We can only see I have $5 fish. So this is a way for us to print variables in Kotlin. Okay, so if you want to print a variable as a string, you want a variable to be printed along with a string, you can add the $sign before the variable. So basically this $sign means, okay, we are taking the value in the fish variable and printing it. Okay, so if you take 5 and just add it to this string and to print out for us. So you can also execute operations within when you're printing your strings. So all you have to do is just to add the $sign and put curly braces, delimit the expression you want to execute with curly braces. So we are saying, okay, print 10 fish, and in while printing the string, we can see a $sign and some expression, this fish plus 5 delimited by curly braces. So this is a way for us to execute expressions within while printing strings. So it's called string formatting in Kotlin. So right now we can see the value of true being printed out for this line. For this line, we can see the value of true being printed out because we can basically see that fish is equals to fish. So double equal sign is basically telling us that, okay, I want to compare the value of the right hand side of the left hand side with the right hand side. If they are equal, print true. If they're not equal, print false. So this single equal to is a way for us to store a value inside a variable. So this basically is storing the number 5 in fish, while this one is comparing the value fish with fish. That's what is that's what it's doing, and we can see that fish is equal to fish, and we are printing true. So we can see a variable being created. We are saying, okay, this is a val. We are only assigning it once. We won't be able to assign it later. So the variable name is message, and we can see a string here. Now let me just explain what this guy is doing. So we can see a dollar sign and curly braces. So within the curly braces, we can see some expressions being executed there. So the expression is saying if fish is less than 5, print much. Okay, else print less. So the value of 5 is the value of fish is 5. So it will say if 5 is less than 5, print much, else print less. So it's going to print less because it will print very less fish, because when we execute the expression within these curly braces, we will see that 5, this fish is 5 is not less than 5. So it will print, it will go to the else it will go to the else part and print what is there, so which is less. So basically we are coming here to print the message that we got, because this is basically a string. So moving on, let us take out some if else statements and move on. Let me confirm the name of the function. Yeah. So most of us will be familiar with how to use if else statements. So we are saying, okay, if fish is greater than plant, yeah, if 5 is greater than 10, we want to print good ratio, else we print unhealthy ratio. So that's what is printing here. 5 is not greater than 10, so it will print unhealthy ratio. And now the next line says if fish is in 1 to 100. So this is basically a way of declaring a range. So we are saying a range from 1 to 100. So if fish whose value is 5, if 5 is in the range 1 to 100, which is actually true, we want to print fish. So we'll print the value of fish, which is 5. Yeah. So this next line is saying, okay, we want to create a variable called is hot. We won't be able to change its value later. So we'll say if temperature is what, 50. If 50 is greater than 9, print true, else print false. So let me print what this guy does. Print is hot. Yes. So I would see what's being printed for that guy. Okay, so we can see that we can see a value of false being printed, because basically 5 is not greater than 9. It will go to this else part and print false. So that's basically what this if else is all about. Just setting conditions, and based on the condition that you have, you can decide what kind of expression you want to execute. So let us check out this when. What is a when keyword in Kotlin? So what the when does is that it helps you to check different conditions. Okay, so this is basically a way, if you use Java, this is exactly the same as using switch keyword. So it says when fish is 0, print empty tank. When fish is in the range 1 to 50, print got fish, else print perfect. So it checks which of these statements are true. If none of them is true, it will go to the else part. If one of them is true, it will print that guy. But if none of them is true, it will go to the else part. So basically, when fish is 0, which is actually false, so it won't do this. It won't do this. So when fish is in the range 1 to 50, which is actually true, it will print got fish, and that's exactly what it's printed. So Let's check out some collections in Kotlin, and some collections like array. Some of us might will be familiar with what arrays are, and so let me just check out what this guy is doing. Okay, so we have this is a way of declaring arrays in Kotlin. Okay, so you use the function mutable list of, and you specify the values you want to store in the array, and you can easily perform so many other operations on the variable, which is my list. You can decide to remove shark, and you can decide to declare something. Let me print what this guy is doing. Let me print my list, and also print swarm. Okay, so I can see that, okay, I've declared an array that contains tuna and shark. Then later on I removed shark. Yeah, on this line I removed shark. Then I declared another array using the list of variable. So the difference between this list of and this mutable list of is that this one can be can be modified. Okay, you can modify this array. That's why we said remove shark. But if you decide to modify this array, we will get an error. I don't want to try that, but we'll get an error. So basically what this guy does is that, okay, after mutable list of, you create a mutable list of tuna and shark. You can decide to remove shark later on, and you can create a mutable a non-mutable list, and perform your operations on them, and you see the results. So let's check out how for loops are used in Kotlin. So after that, we'll just move on to the next part of this. We'll just move on to building our application. So check out the for loop. Now, how to use for loops in Kotlin. It's more or less the same thing like using it in other languages, but it's a little bit different. So so a way there are different ways for us to create for loops in Kotlin. So this is a for keyword. You can use it to create stuff in Kotlin. But let me take out this guy first before moving to. Let me take out these ones before moving to these guys. So what this guy is saying is that for I in BG, okay. So this is a way for us to declare ranges, like I said earlier. So you can also check out the range from one letter to another letter. So it will create a range from letter B to letter G. Okay, so we can see here this part that let me reformat this guy. So we will be able to see it clearly than before. So okay, yeah, this is a little bit better than before. So what this guy does is that, okay, for I in range B to G, okay, it will print I. So it will check out letters from letter B to letter G. So we can see B, C, D. You can see B, C, D, E, F, G in the stuff. So the Kotlin declaring ranges in Kotlin is kind of different from other languages. Every the beginning and the end of your range, they are all inclusive. So you can see that it's from B is also included, and G is also included. So it won't be from B to F or something like in other languages. So for this second line, we can see from I to F, from 1 to 5, I mean, sorry. So we can see the result here. Yeah, this is the result. Okay, so we can also iterate from the top to the bottom also. So we can see I in 5 down to 1. So it will iterate from 5 down to 1 here. So you can check that out and see. So for I in 3 to 6, so we are declaring a range from 3 to 6. So we are stepping 2. Okay, so what it will do is that starting from 3, it will start adding 2 to the value of I. So when we get to the range, the end of the range, it will print the number of stuff it can get. So this one only print 3 and 5, because basically if you start from 3, you add 2 to 3, you get 5. Then going on, if you add 2 to 5, you get 7, but 5 is out of this range, so it will only print 3 and 5, it won't print 6. So that's basically how to use for loops in Kotlin. And this is just the basic stuff out of the things you can get out of Kotlin. There are so many other ways you can get familiar with Kotlin. That's why you're free to join the Android study group that we started. So we should move on to creating our first Android app right now, which we should be able to start doing immediately because time is kind of running out.